Possible meaning that my nickname should be Rambo.
Get that money, you're going to be the hardest out here, and the hardest ass is going to go to jail. So you better get that money. Hello, Julio Foolio's mother shared my son Foolio was in his hateful city last night. Please remember him in your prayers. A week after Foolio's death, and now there are rumors that Foolios are hunting out members of the Yungeen Ace's gang and planning more K in vengeance. To me, the true question is why life in our community is so meaningless, and for some people especially. ATK and Ta have been involved in a bitter and violent rivalry for years, and their beef has already claimed dozens of young lives now, according to Jacksonville Sheriff TK Waters. He said the police are now paying close attention to certain groups that he knows are clashing, and they're not going to allow any retribution. It's unfortunate now. The next thing is these groups, I won't name them, they know who they are. We're not going to tolerate any retribution, any revenge. We're going to watch. We're going to be around paying attention to what's going on. But like I said, this has been going on for years, and folks in Jacksonville are saying the police are not really doing anything to put a stop to this. Others, however, argue that the police can't do much, and it all starts at home, and how these young men are being raised. Speaking of Julio Foolio's mother, just broke her silence on her son's murder, claiming she tried to keep Foolio away from the gang lifestyle and begged him to squash the beef with ATK. She also called out people who are celebrating Foolio's death and revealed that she's working on a documentary where she wants to reveal the untold truth about Foolio's life and death. But what exactly does Foolio's mom know about her son's you, the liability, you the brand? Even with me, I'm a brand. Like, I'm not going to risk everything I got billed to pay. I got my mama, she need me, you know. It's so much going on. Like, if they lose me, then it's nothing, everything over with, back to ground zero, you know what I'm saying. So I'm the brand. I had to pretend that after Florida rapper Julio passed away on June 23. There are increasing worries that this tragedy could lead to a major gang conflict between ATK and their arch rivals. Tom Hackney, a crime and safety expert, even told News4 Jack stated that the current state of affairs is extremely tense, and since Theo was well known in the community, people are truly afraid that the violence will only increase. Hackney added that if you take a historical look at Theo and some of the incidents he's had in the last year, you have to draw some conclusions that indicate that this will be a back-and-forth situation. The drawback of this is that if Theo enters the room, someone from a rival group will inevitably emerge and need to be dealt with, in their eyes. In the meantime, Jacksonville Sheriff TK Waters promised that the authorities would not tolerate any retaliation, and that they would be closely monitoring the two rival teams. Unfortunately, I believe that young people mistake this for a game, as evidenced by comments made in the statement I made. They act as though this is a video game rather than real life, so he has parents, siblings, and friends in addition to his mother, and they must deal with these kinds of losses. It's unfortunate that now these groups, I won't name them, know who they are and that we won't tolerate any retaliation. We'll be watching and paying attention to what's happening, but it's unfortunate that this is happening. I've never seen such a devaluation of human life. It's almost like they talk about it in rap videos and songs, as if it's funny. It just doesn't make sense. Additionally, Sheriff Waters issued a warning to young guys who view this lifestyle as a game, telling them not to get involved because the police won't. As the gang battle escalates even further, he said, this is not a game. This is not something that we will put up with in the community. The media, Jacksonville residents, and I all share the same opinion that this is not something that can be tolerated. We will also be closely monitoring this, so please refrain from getting involved and avoid the foolishness. Heard some people concerned about safety here in Jacksonville. Retribution Is that a viable concern? So I can tell you that I've made several phone calls and discussions with the undersheriff and staff members about paying very close attention to certain groups that I know are clashing with one another. They know who they are, and we are going to pay very close attention to make sure that we're not going to allow you to just arbitrarily run around and spray bullets into people's houses and cars. It's just something that we're going to pay very close attention to. And I want the public to be vigilant, pay attention. When you see these things going on, look, the social media world is called meta for a reason. It's make-believe, it's not real life. Real life is what happened to Theo yesterday. And that happens, and it should not happen, so we're going to be paying very, very close attention. But Jacksonville residents don't seem to be too hopeful about the sheriff's word, and they're saying the police are not doing enough to put a stop to this madness. How the devil does someone spray military-grade weaponry? Someone once remarked, "Burn rubber, you're going to stand up here and tell people what you're going to do. But all you are is a talking head." And someone else wrote, "Man, drive away and get away." On the other hand, some people are saying you can't blame the police, and it's all about the mindset and home environments these young men are raised in. Someone said you need to put the parents on blast because these young men were raised by someone. And if your kids sell drugs or commit felonies, you will lose all public assistance. The sheriff has spent years watching these kids interact and has even written songs about it. But now that you're paying attention, get the F out of here. Food stamps, housing, everything. Nurture your child morally or suffer the consequences. And a comment from a fan stating that guys need the village. In the Black community, fathers, uncles, brothers, and mentors are more important than ever. The family is failing, and paying child support is only a small part of parenting these days. Julio's mother, Sandra Mays, a nurse, broke her silence on Instagram and addressed the criticism leveled at her, asserting that she is the only mother in this situation who has kept it real with her son and has gone above and beyond to try and get him to move away from that street life. Sandra Mays also announced that she intends to tell the TR story of her son's life and death in an upcoming documentary. She posted a compilation video of Foolio as a child with the caption, "Rip son Charles Jones, I second Foolio, the real-life story documentary, coming soon, the story that only I can tell, because I know the truths from the fakes. I think I'm the only mother that keeps it real." While the majority of people are well aware of what was happening with their own sons, this has been going on since 2014 or 2015. Some of the women who are celebrating your death are also some of the same women who looked up to me while they were sitting in my building. I was their teacher, and they were my students at a big grown age taking notes. Let's not forget that the same woman who was purchasing your CDs for their children did the same thing you did.